Once upon a time, in a faraway kingdom, there lived a kind and beautiful queen. She longed for a child, and one day, her wish was granted when she gave birth to a lovely baby girl with skin as white as snow, hair as dark as ebony, and lips as red as roses. They named her Snow White. Sadly, the queen fell ill and passed away, leaving the king heartbroken. In time, the king remarried a vain and wicked woman who possessed a magical mirror. Each day, she would ask the mirror, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest one of all?" And the mirror always replied, "You are, my queen." As Snow White grew, her beauty surpassed that of her stepmother. One day, to her dismay, the mirror answered, "Snow White is the fairest of them all." Enraged with jealousy, the wicked queen plotted to get rid of the young princess. She ordered her huntsman to take Snow White deep into the forest and kill her. But when the huntsman saw Snow White's innocence and beauty, he couldn't bring himself to harm her. Instead, he warned her of the queen's intentions and urged her to run far away and never to return to the kingdom. Lost and frightened in the dark woods, Snow White stumbled upon a small cottage that belonged to 7 dwarfs. The dwarfs were kind and welcomed her warmly. They agreed to let her stay with them, and she took care of their home while they were away working in the nearby mines. Meanwhile, the wicked queen discovered that Snow White was still alive and residing with the dwarfs. Consumed by her rage, she devised a plan to kill the princess herself. Using her dark magic, she transformed into an old hag and crafted a poisoned apple. Disguised as an old woman, the queen approached Snow White at the cottage. She tempted the princess with the poisoned apple, promising that one bite would grant her heart's desire. Not suspecting any harm, Snow White accepted the gift and took a bite, instantly falling into a deep sleep. The dwarfs returned home and found Snow White lying motionless on the floor. Heartbroken, they wept over her lifeless form. Encased in glass, Snow White lay in eternal slumber. The dwarfs could not bear to bury her, so they placed her in a glass coffin on a hilltop where they could visit her every day. One day, a handsome prince heard about the beautiful princess under the curse. Intrigued by the tale, he set out on a quest to find her. When he reached the hilltop and saw Snow White's ethereal beauty, he fell in love at first sight. Unable to resist the temptation, the prince kissed Snow White gently, breaking the curse. With true love's kiss, Snow White awakened from her slumber. Overjoyed, she and the prince pledged their love for one another. Seeing Snow White, the dwarfs rejoiced, and they held a grand celebration, inviting all the kingdom's people to witness the union of their beloved princess and the prince. The evil queen, who had been watching from afar, was furious to see Snow White alive and happy again. In the act of final desperation, the wicked queen's evil deeds caught up with her, and she met a terrible end. In a fit of rage, she accidentally fell into a deep chasm and disappeared forever. Snow White and the prince got married and invited the dwarfs to live in the castle, where they lived happily ever after. Their love and kindness touched the hearts of everyone in the kingdom, spreading joy and happiness throughout the land. And so, the story of Snow White became a timeless tale of love, courage, and the triumph of good over evil. For more such amazing stories, please subscribe to the channel.